Hello and welcome to another episode of Software Code Garage. My name is Ramin, I'm the Chief Mechanic at Software Code Garage, as I like to call myself, and I'm recording and broadcasting these videos from my home office in Cambridge, United Kingdom. Software Code Garage is all about building software, about building businesses around software, and the stories of businesses that use software and technology to deliver their services and products. I hope that you enjoy this episode. Don't forget to share and leave comments.
If you're an investor or you do day trading on the stock market, you might have heard the news that an American technology company called NVIDIA is buying a British company called ARM, which is based in Cambridge, England. In this video, I'll give you a short introduction to both of these companies, their products and their history, and explain why this merger or acquisition makes sense. NVIDIA was founded in 1993 by Jensen Huang, a Taiwanese American, and two of his friends who believed computer graphics would be the next major market to push the computing technology forward at the time. And therefore, the group of three believed that they could develop new technology, new types of processors to address these problems, specifically for the graphics and gaming market. They founded NVIDIA with $40,000 in the bank account and managed to raise $20 million worth of venture capital from Sequoia Capital, which is a relatively famous venture capital based in the US. NVIDIA managed to grow to an initial public offering on the stock market in January 1999, which was, if you think about it, a short while before the dot-com crash of March 2000. As you might be able to figure out from looking at their website, one of NVIDIA's major innovations that led to their long-term success post the dot-com crash was the invention of what's known as the graphics pipeline, or programmable graphics pipeline to be more precise. NVIDIA's initial focus was on inventing dedicated processors for graphics applications, also known as graphics processing units, or GPUs for short. These types of graphics microprocessors were designed to perform a certain fixed functionality which would not be changed by software programmers. Over time, NVIDIA realized that the fixed functionality was not going to serve the market very well. Therefore, they invented and in 2001 released the first programmable graphics processors, or programmable GPUs, and this allowed programmers to define customized graphics applications or graphics pipeline. The next major phase of NVIDIA's success came in 2012 when machine learning and artificial intelligence systems suddenly became much more powerful and useful thanks to the works of a group of researchers. Over time, it became apparent that NVIDIA's programmable graphics processors were much more powerful at doing machine learning and artificial intelligence tasks compared with other types of conventional processors. Although today that trend is changing, NVIDIA, a major player in gaming and graphics, was well positioned to take advantage of this market trend, and their products began to appear in major supercomputing and data processing centers around the world. Now, let's turn our attention to ARM and understand where they come from. ARM is a British company headquartered in Cambridge, England, and it was born or spun off an older company called Acorn Computers. Acorn used to make personal computing devices and started to lose market share in the early 1990s and was eventually sold to Morgan Stanley in 1999. However, one of the key components of Acorn's products was their spatially power-efficient microprocessors. Due to the novelty and efficiency of these microprocessors, in November 1990, a new company was spun off to focus on designing this type of battery-efficient microprocessors. Apple, Nokia, Texas Instruments, and some other famous companies at the time in the technology sector, all of whom were interested in making portable computing devices, were amongst the first investors and customers in the newly formed company, ARM. The company had an initial public offering on the stock market in 1998, and that's a year before that of NVIDIA's. This trend continued post the dot-com crash, and ARM's microprocessors became ever more efficient, ever more capable, and more popular, resulting in over 95% of the world's mobile and handheld devices, such as Apple iPods, Samsung Galaxy phones, etc., using microprocessor units that were designed by ARM and manufactured by ARM's customers and partners around the world. In July 2016, one of Japan's biggest technology companies called SoftBank offered to acquire ARM, and this deal went through. ARM was taken off the stock market and became a privately held company once again in its history. Following that acquisition, ARM's microprocessors have gone to power the world's fastest supercomputer at the time of this recording, the Japanese Fugaku, and SoftBank's promises to the UK government have been kept. You would have noticed that up to this point, NVIDIA has not had much of a success in the mobile market, and similarly, ARM has not had much of a success in gaining market share in either supercomputing or machine learning markets compared with NVIDIA. Due to this reason, NVIDIA, who realized SoftBank was looking to sell ARM back to the public stock market, decided to make an offer to acquire ARM from SoftBank. A marriage which would help ARM expand into the machine learning and artificial intelligence markets much stronger and faster than before, and one which would allow NVIDIA also to have access to ARM's unique dominance in the mobile and handheld computing markets. So following this announcement, as you would imagine, NVIDIA's share price saw a massive spike, which was great news for the shareholders of this company. However, this announcement also raised many critics' concerns. Up to this point, ARM has been known to the world of electronics and computing as the neutral grounds for its many major customers, many of whom also fierce competitors with each other. You can think of it as a kind of the Switzerland of the microprocessing world, if you like, and the Japanese owners seem to keep that neutrality unchanged. But to the critics of this merger or this acquisition, being owned by NVIDIA, which itself has been one of ARM's customers, would mean an upside-down world. Not only that, but also American companies have had a somewhat negative reputation in terms of acquiring British brands and closing their operations in the UK. While the fate of this marriage and the two companies' brands and products remains to be revealed over the next few months and few years, this marriage certainly does open up many doors for both companies and brings about exciting times for both companies as well as for the world of computing. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share it with your friends and your network, and send us your feedback and questions. We'll publish follow-up content based on your feedback and your questions.